afternoon, everyone. This is Tony from Her Homestead Skills. It's afternoon here. I don't know what it is where you are, but good day nonetheless. So this morning, I went to the garden to see what I could harvest, and yes, that little ding. And a little disappointed with the amount of tomatoes. I'm still getting tomatoes, but nothing like I used to would normally get on another year. So I don't know if the weather has affected them or if the soil was just depleted and needed some additional assistance. But next year I'll have to look into that if I'm still there. Anyway, cucumbers are pretty much finished. There's a few that are large and yellow, and I've left them on there to use to continue to develop for seed. And that's what you do. Once they get too big and start to go yellow, they're not good for eating, but they're wonderful for seed. So I've left, I think there's 2 really big ones and there's a couple more. But I think that's the end of my cucumbers for this year as well. On the other hand, I have 3 quart jars and 1 quart and a half and 2 half-gallon jars of pickles already made. So I have more than enough for the full year, and then some. I'll definitely have some to give away. So I'm quite satisfied with the pickles, and we still have some for salad as well. So yeah, that was a good harvest. And so today started, well, not today, I think 2 days ago was the first harvest of beans. So now I'm diligently looking and harvesting beans every second day or so as they develop, so that they are young and tender. And even if it's small quantities to begin with, I am processing them. And what I'm doing this time around is blanch and freeze, so that I could make a cold bean salad anytime I want. I still have jars of dilly beans and fermented beans, that I made last year. So I still have some of those in stock, and I may do some more of those this year, but for the time being, right now, I am trying to blanch and freeze as many packets as I can, and love that process. It's fairly quick and simple and easy. The amount of beans are small. As it gets larger, it'll probably be a little bit more cumbersome, and it'll take a little more time, but that's fine. We'd love to harvest as many beans as I can this year. So potatoes are just about ready. Plants are starting to die back, and I think it's about time that I dug up the potatoes, but I might leave them another week. And so today's focus is on the green beans and how I'm preserving them. Now, I can also leave a link to how some other methods that I've used to preserve the beans. If you would like to see those, I'll leave a link to those as well, so that you'll have 2 or 3 different methods available to you, and you can pick and choose what you like the best. Okay, so today I am preserving green beans fresh out of my garden. I just picked these probably about 10-15 minutes ago, no more than that. And the way I'm preserving these this time is that I'm going to just blanch and freeze. I do have a fair amount of beans, dilly beans in jars, and I also have fermented beans in jars. So today, and perhaps with the next lot of beans that I get, I'm definitely just going to blanch and freeze. And since they're so fresh and so tender, I mean, you could eat them raw and they're delicious. But I was explaining to Mark that yes, all we have to do, I've tasted one after it was blanched, and they're pretty much cooked just because they are so tender. And all we have to do is pretty much thaw them out and make a cold bean salad, which is one of the best ways we love to eat these. is a cold bean salad. And to make a cold bean salad, all I do is cut up a bit of garlic and use salt, oil, and wine vinegar. I love my wine vinegar for salads. So that makes an awesome, awesome, awesome green bean salad. So that is why I'm preparing these this way. And I'll probably do a number of batches. So what will happen is that I will blanch these for 3 minutes, and then I will take them out and lay them on a cookie sheet or something flat to be able to just flash freeze or freeze as quickly as possible. And when they're frozen solid, then I will put them in a vacuum seal bag. So, okay, I will get back to you after I've finished this process. Okay, my water has boiled, and I can choose to salt the water a bit, and I think I will do. Absolutely not necessary though. And now I'm just going to toss in these beans that I've cleaned and process them in the, blanch them for 3 minutes. And yes, I do recognize that this is a small batch of beans, but I have decided that I'm going to go out to the garden every single day and pick my beans fresh, because if they start to get old, that's when they're not nice anymore. So you want them really young and tender, and it takes me 10 minutes to prepare a small batch and boil it and freeze it. So I have no issue doing that on a daily basis or every second day, and to have these lovely green beans available to me throughout the winter months. They are nothing like what you can buy in the store. They're just absolutely beautifully tender, and I'm going to try and harvest as many as I can. And the way these beans are, the more you pick them, the more that they will grow. So the more beans that they'll put out. They are a vine bean, they're not a bush bean. Bush beans will put out one flush, and that's the end of them. The pole beans will continue to produce, and will probably produce more and more the more you pick them. So that is what I intend to do. So, okay, my beans are ready to come out, and what I want to do is run them under cold water to stop the cooking process, and perhaps even throw some ice on them, but cold water should do the trick. So, and I'm going to fill this pot back up with water and let them sit in cold water, just to get the temperature down quickly. Okay, I'm going to strain that out one more time and run some more cold water through this. Cool them down a second time. Yes. They're still warm, but this should do it. Now I'm just going to let them sit in the cold water for a few minutes, and then we'll pull them out. Now, as soon as I feel that I don't feel warm coming off them, they'll be ready. So give them a minute now. Okay, they've cooled off. I'm going to drain them one last time. Now, if I had a bigger batch of beans, certainly I would do a bigger batch. I'm doing what it produces, and as time goes on, this is just the first flush. as time goes on, the vines will produce more and more and more beans. I'll probably have 3 to 4 times as many in one picking. But for now, this is my first pickings. So at this point, I have laid them out on a cookie sheet. And I'm just going to spread them out so that they can freeze. And once frozen, I will put them in a vacuum seal bag. Okay, as you can see at this point, they are somewhat spread out on my cookie sheet. Let's see if I can get a good shot of this. Yeah. And so off to the freezer they go, and a couple of hours they should be frozen solid at this point when they're spread out like this. And then we'll vacuum seal and put them away to eat at a later time. But I'm eating this one right now. Oh, is that ever tasty. Okay, so all my beans are frozen, and I've just got a vacuum seal bag ready. And I have washed my hands, and now I'm just loading up this bag. And the first time I did it directly in the bag rather than freezing it on the tray first, and there was too much moisture left in them. So that's fine, they'll be fine. I just prefer to remove as much of the moisture as possible. Now this is definitely enough for a bean salad for Mark and I. Probably should actually split it into 2. I think I will. But I want to quickly get this vacuum sealed and back in the freezer. So yeah, if you're going to make dinner-sized portions, that's actually not a bad thing. Okay, what have we got here? A few more here. And I think that is almost even. But yes, both of these will make a nice bean salad for Mark and I. So, next stage, vacuum seal. Okay, there we have it, and another 2 perfectly preserved garden fresh beans for a cold bean salad whenever I want. This is just awesome. I think I'm going to make quite a few of these packets this year. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to preserve green beans, or at least another method to preserve green beans. And as I've stated, I do have other videos on other methods to preserve it, and if you're interested in it, please look at those as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.